At Grenlec, we are committed to serving our customers. To help us serve you even better, please make an appointment for all non-payment services. Email customersupport@grenlec.com, WhatsApp 405-6931, or call 237 for a service representative. Please provide your name, your account number, your telephone number, the service required, and the customer care center you wish to visit. We will confirm your appointment within 2 business days. Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
The Christmas holiday season is weeks away, and MTV, along with Magic FM, is providing advertising rates, programs, and special deals for businesses. Let us help you boost your products, services, and Christmas specials. Don't have an advert? Don't stress. We can create it for you. Contact MTV Marketing Department for details and book it on 440-8171, 405-5718, or mtvmarketinggd@gmail.com. Book early and bring cheer to families for Christmas. Terms and conditions apply.
Who needs a plan? Take my hand. Our stories will find us. My Shandy Caravan. And there's nowhere that I'd rather be than any place with my Shandy Caravan. And there's nowhere that I'd rather be than any place with you.
Shandy Carib, refreshed for life.
All businesses start small and grow into successful corporations. With a strong team, you can have a strong business. Protect the employees that stand by you with Beacon's Be Better Group Health Plan. It's a customizable and affordable health plan for smaller businesses that offers many of the benefits of a large corporate plan. Call us at 440-4447 or log on to beacon.co.tt for more info today.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Troy, and this morning I will be demonstrating some simple yet effective exercises that you can do in the morning or anytime during the day. So the first one I'm going to demonstrate is the jumping jack, but this one is a low impact version of the jumping jack, right? For those of you who have bad knees and you have bad joints, right? So all you do is simply reach down and up, nice and easy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You squat down and you reach up. 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. And then you go straight into the actual jumping jack right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job, guys, if you were following. All right, so now we're going to go into some floor touches with a squat, and then you reach. So you squat down, you reach up. 1, nice and easy. 2, 3, squat down, touch, reach up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then they alternate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alternate floor touches with a squat. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now if you want a challenge, right, you can do the squats. You jump in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job, guys, if you were following. Keep it up. All right, guys, so the final one we're gonna do is squat pulses with a slight jump. So you go down, you pulse twice. 1, 2, jump. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, 8, 1, 2, 9, 1, 2, 10. Good job, guys. Now this one may be a little bit more challenging for some of you, right? But if you want a challenge, you can try the last one. All right, guys, so it's very important that you factor in at least 5 to 10 minutes a day of exercise, some form of movement. Even if it means you get up and you go for a walk or something on mornings, make sure that you drink your water throughout the day. All right, so important to exercise and to diet, drink water, and you're on your way to living a healthier lifestyle. Thanks again for joining us, guys. See you again next time.
I was diagnosed, actually I fell in love in October 2011. As a human being, I was in denial. And it was until December I visited the doctor. Again, I visited him in January 2011 and I was given the option to have a biopsy done. In a few weeks' time, the result came out positive that I had early signs of breast cancer. After doing my biopsy, I started to think. And before I actually went to the doctor, after I saw the lump, I began to make research. And in my research, I realized that what was said and some of the images, it looked directly how the breast looked, the same image of the orange, and that's when I realized that all is not well. I received the result on February 4th, 2011. So I wanted to make further medical investigation, so I traveled out to the United States. I traveled in 3 weeks' time, the 23rd of February of the same year. I did more tests in the States and it really confirmed that I had breast cancer. I had surgery on the 12th of May of that same year, and they discovered that it went into my lymph nodes. They removed 29 and 25 had it, which was very unusual. Anyway, I was given chemotherapy. I had 26 rounds, which was very harsh on me, but I pulled through. I had 23 rounds of radiation, and I tell you, it was not easy. But by faith, I really made it. At present, I'm getting a lot of side effects of the medication I'm taking. I'm on a medication named Arimidex, and the generic name is Anastrozole. I have to be taking it for 10 years. I've actually taken it for 10 years. I have quite a lot of side effects, osteoporosis, arthritis, pains all in my joints, but I'm surviving. I've changed my diet a bit, but not such in a big way. I dwell a lot with fruits and vegetables, and I only eat fish. All in all, I try to do my best. I try to have a good physical appearance because this healthy appearance tells a lot. on your whole mind. And you follow the rules. You live with hope, you live with faith. You live as though maybe today is your last day, so you live.
I'm Tony Julian with the details. The search for Michael Brown, a 78-year-old resident of the Hilarion home, Mount Craven, St. Patrick, continues. He was last seen wearing boxer briefs and a maroon t-shirt. He's about 5 feet 8 inches in height, of medium build, and brown in complexion. The MTV News spoke with Bishop Clyde Harvey, who is in charge of the Hilarion home, to get an update on the matter.
It has been 3 weeks since 78-year-old Michael Brown, a resident of the Hilarion home in Mount Craven, St. Patrick, has been missing. The Diocese of St. George's in Grenada is responsible for 3 senior homes, including the Hilarion home, and according to Bishop Clyde Harvey, the search for Brown continues.
Well, he continues to be missing, much to our pain and regret. People have gone out regularly looking, particularly some of the workers of the home have done that. But nobody seems to have any idea as to where he went. At first it was said that he's not a man who would go into water. He does have a history of some dementia, but he wasn't the kind of person who would just go towards the water, so we presume that he had gone somewhere towards the town.
The bishop said there was a report of a sighting of the missing man, which proved futile. However, Bishop Harvey says there is still hope.
But there's been just one report of sighting. But of course, when you get there, by the time somebody reports a sighting, it's too late to find the person. We continue to be on the lookout, but it's very difficult to know what to do at this point in time, unless somebody actually does sight him. And then you can kind of get to where he was seen. So right now, we haven't given up because, people can be found after 2-3 weeks. So we will continue to be on the lookout for him. I hope to meet his family soon, myself. The management of the home has already met them. And we continue to live in hope and prayer.
The bishop says it is not the first time they were faced with an unfortunate situation like Brown's disappearance. And though the home is guarded by security, Brown still managed to slip out.
These things happen regularly with homes to the age. People slip out. Senior citizens who are in a certain mental state. It's something that you have to be on the lookout for. In the context of what happened, what we seem to think has happened, somehow he found his way out during the night. So that's where there is some concern to beefing up security and that sort of thing. Hilarion was going through a rough time, so I don't want to point fingers at this stage, but somewhere along the line, he managed to elude the people who were supposedly looking up.
Due to COVID-19 cases at the home, it is not business as usual. Over 8 COVID-19 related deaths were confirmed. The bishop believes due to COVID-19 cases at the home, it could be one of the reasons Brown went missing. Anyone seeing Michael Brown or has information about his whereabouts are asked to contact Sattels Police Station on 442-9224, Police Emergency at 911, Police Hotline at 444-1958, or the nearest police station. Nikita Hostin, MTV News.
Yet another dispute between the Technical and Allied Workers Union TAWU and a financial institution as operations of First Caribbean CIBC Bank are to be taken over by the Grenada Cooperative Bank. A release from the union stated that the bank seems intent on creating conditions for a serious industrial struggle before it departs from Grenada. following the announcement of the CIBC FCIB sale to Grenada Cooperative Bank. The union wrote seeking to address matters of urgent concern to the workers. These matters include the right of the workers to elect to be transferred to Cooperative Bank or elect to be terminated and to receive payment or severance payments. Retroactive overtime payments owed to the workers for being illegally scheduled to work beyond the normal workday, salary increases and other matters related to the collective labor agreement for the period 2019 to 2021. According to the union release, CIBC FCIB has refused to attend a rescheduled conciliation meeting set by the Labour Commissioner for Tuesday, the 2nd of November. The release further stated that GTAU shall not allow the Canadian banks, which have taken away our resources from the country, to run away without adequately compensating Grenadian workers. Efforts were made by our news team to reach an official of the bank, all of which proved futile. The union met with the workers of the bank, who have all given their commitment to engage in any necessary action to protect and secure their rights and benefits. More than $100,000 has to be pumped into the transportation sector. According to Transportation Minister Nolan Cox, this funding comes under the CDB Transportation Developmental Project, of which Grenada is a part. The improvement of the transportation sector, Cox says, has become necessary due to the many challenges of those within that field face.
The transportation sector, according to Minister with responsibility for transportation, Nolan Cox, continues to evolve with an increase in the number of vehicles on the road, creating a challenge. Due to this evolvement, steps have been made to deal with this challenge with the establishment of a Transport Commission to manage this new norm going forward. However, no team has been established to manage the commission as yet. In moving forward with the development of the transportation sector, Minister Cox says they have made several moves, including collaborating with the Caribbean Development Bank.
What this project seeks to do is seek to look at all the regulatory structures, the issue of policies, national policies, other critical factors relating to the transport sector and ways to see how we can improve them. It will also look at the management of the public transport sector, and to offer ways in terms of how it can be improved. And this study will also look at data, important data, how that can improve operations. It will also look at the transition in the use of electric low-emission carbon buses as a way, in a well-structured and inclusive way, to bring in that as part of the transport component in Grenada.
In the coming months, Grenada will see the beginning of the project, which will be overseen by MCRIT, a company based in Barcelona.
To benefit significantly from that, this project timeline is from September of 2021 to September of 2022. It's for 1 year. The cost for this project is $875,000, for which it will be shared between both Grenada and St. Lucia for implementation. And so they are the ones who have been awarded the contract to implement this important project. In the coming months, we should see their presence here in Grenada. It is very important to note that all our stakeholders are going to play a critical role in the implementation of this project.
Cox says there will be an investment in another project, which will complement this one.
It's a project that looks at the social component, how communities are affected by transport, like the women, elderly, children, persons with disabilities. And so they're going to look into see how we can improve that aspect on the social side. And this is a very important project. This project will go on for 6 months at a cost of $50,000 US.
Stakeholders, he says, will participate in the consultative process, including bus operators and business owners. MTV News, Rachel Bain.
One of the largest credit unions in Grenada is excited to announce a major office move to a larger facility in the south of the island. The GUT Cooperative Credit Union has moved from its location at the Lamarquis complex to its new accommodation at Excel Plaza in Grand Anse. But let's get more on this from Nikita Hostin.
The new branch location will provide a more convenient and comfortable atmosphere with enhanced member experience, and according to Ms. Joycelyn Augustus Latouche, President GUT Cooperative Credit Union, they are excited to relocate to the new and larger office. She says this move represents another significant milestone for the credit union.
The GUT Credit Union has listened to the concerns of members for more space, privacy, and better accommodation. So this move is not by chance. Since GUT Credit Union is where you belong, we have strategically chosen the ideal spot that will provide ease of doing business. This new location at the Excel Plaza has all the characteristics that is capable of satisfying all our members.
Mr. Randy Boyk Cadet is the president of the Grenada Cooperative League Limited. He says GUT Credit Union continues to be a significant player in the Grenada financial marketplace.
My friends, this may be a small launch, but this is a big moment. And this strategic move was highly anticipated years ago, but on this day, November 2nd, 2021, has finally happened. I have no doubt that today the spirit of the credit union movement has been elevated, and the Grenada Cooperative League, your league, is excited to be a part of this activity. The league stands in full support of this initiative since it will bring benefits to the people.
Ms. Ritisha Smith Boyd is the general manager of GUT Cooperative Credit Union.
We have grown over the years. We have had increased demand from our membership. We want to offer better service with a more convenient location. So this new location offers more parking. It is convenient, accessible, better accommodation and facilities so that our staff and membership would be more comfortable.
Nikita Hostin, MTV News.
The newly elected leader of the National Democratic Congress, or NDC, says the issue of vaccinations is a complex one that must be addressed sensitively and clearly. Deacon Mitchell, speaking at the first press briefing by the new executive, says that while he is vaccinated and is encouraging people to get vaccinated, that he still respects a person's right to choose a medication in accordance with their conscience.
I respect a person's right to choose whether he or she wishes to be vaccinated. I respect a person's right to choose whether he or she wishes to take medicine. And I do not believe that someone should take medication against their conscience. So that's a personal view. But rather talk, consult, educate, and dialogue with them so that they understand the complex realities of the world that we're living in. So I will say this to you. The question of what are the policies that the government should enact on vaccination should be driven by having consulted extensively with your population so that you are clear that you're acting in the best interests of the population and the preservation of the state.
Mitchell says governing a society must not be done in isolation and decision-making. That's especially with the current pandemic. It must be made in a way, he says, that has the interests of people at heart.
Governing a society, however, cannot just be done on your personal view. If you're governing a society, you're governing in the majority interests of the society. And you have to govern the state so that the state itself is preserved, so that the state itself functions and so that the state can operate. We have to appreciate that the question of a pandemic is a complex one. It is driven by external factors. It is driven by internal factors. So, for example, the question of whether a Grenadian who's unvaccinated could travel is something you have to factor. The question of whether persons will come to Grenada and go to a restaurant or hotels or any public places if people are not vaccinated is something we need to address. Because the reality is, Grenada is a small island, a village, without the kind of resources that far more advanced and complex societies make. And so sometimes the decisions which impact us are made externally and we have no choice. And we should therefore not engage in deceiving our people.
Mitchell says the approach that was taken on the whole vaccination drive was incorrect, and with proper policies, it could have a different outcome.
The challenge we have is that we face a situation where an ad hoc, do-as-you-please approach was permitted to occur. And what that did is, to some extent, pit some aspects of the strong against the weak. It pit self-employed persons in a position where the government has said to them, in order to operate, you need to be vaccinated. So the challenge we face collectively as a society is how do we embark upon policies, because we need to understand and be honest with our people. It is not just COVID-19. There will be other pandemics. There will be other contagious disease that we need to contend with in the future. We need to look at the history of vaccines and their impact on eradicating some of the most deadly viruses and illnesses that historically is known to man. So I will say this, it is a complex issue. I am deeply empathetic to persons who potentially may be on the breadline and who have been on the breadline as a result of vaccination mandates. And it's something that the solution to, as in the consequences of those, are stuff we need to dialogue about and come up with solutions to.
Mitchell says the low rate of vaccination is of concern to him, and he's imploring the government to come up with ways of educating the population on the matter. Meanwhile, the COVID-19 vaccination, reopening and further lifting of restrictions seemingly is a topic of discussion among government and health officials. Grenada to date has recorded more than 38,000 people as fully vaccinated. However, the questions on the minds of many now are the significance of booster shots and who will qualify for these shots.
According to the World Health Organization, there is evidence that there is a small proportion of people who have serious immunocompromised conditions that don't seem to respond to the first 2 doses of COVID-19 vaccine in the way that people who don't have a weakened immune system do. What do they need? Experts say a 3rd dose of the vaccine is required, mainly because they haven't adequately responded to the first 2 doses. This additional dose is intended to improve immunocompromised people's response to their initial vaccine series. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles explains.
On a case-by-case basis, we have offered booster shots to some individuals because there are individuals who bear increased risk, and they have been identified to us, and we have offered booster shots to them. Right now, it is just a question of inventory, number of doses that we have available to the population, and number of doses that we can make available for boosters.
He says thus far, not everyone who took the vaccine needs a booster.
It's not that we are announcing that everyone should come in and get a booster right now. There are persons who bear a certain amount of risk, maybe because of their underlying health problem or because they are exposed to additional risk by occupation or otherwise.
Meanwhile, Health Minister Nicholas Tees says the government, while it's trying its best to deal with the many issues brought on by COVID-19, is still challenged. He says they are left with tough choices to make.
They are now coming forward to us to say, well, I'd like to have a booster because I'm hearing everybody, all the CDC, WHO, etc., talking about boosters. We are still dealing with the limited stock and logistical challenges we have with vaccines. And the moral, ethical question and challenge and debate for discussion is, should we give the vaccines that we have to those who have been compliant and are looking for their booster shot? And should we also make sure that we have vaccines for those who are coming forward finally now for their first dose?
For MTV News, Rachel Bain.
November is also officially Caribbean Tourism Month. The month reflects on the invaluable impact of tourism on the economic, social, and cultural well-being in the Caribbean to attract positive media coverage for and of the Caribbean and the local tourism product, and also to celebrate the diversity of what the Caribbean offers. We hear more from Nikita Holston.
The Ministry of Tourism, together with the Grenada Tourism Authority, celebrates Tourism Awareness Month annually in Grenada under the theme Caribbean Comeback. Minister for Tourism and Civil Aviation, Clarice Modeste-Cohen, elaborates on the focus of the month.
Here in Grenada, our focus for the month is on fostering awareness and education of tourism's importance, its linkages, and the benefits it can deliver culturally, socially, environmentally, and economically to our tri-island state.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the tourism industry in Grenada has been on a dunghill and was drastically impacted, according to the tourism minister.
The past 2 years have been extremely difficult for the tourism industry worldwide, and our tri-island state is no exception. As you are aware, the industry was severely impacted from the onset of the largest crisis in the history of tourism, with closures, lockdowns, and travel bans, all causing the industry to come to a standstill. Even now, we are faced with an additional challenge of vaccine hesitancy globally. The vaccines provide an opportunity to promote the agenda of inclusive growth and advance our and the Caribbean Tourism Organization's CTO agenda to ensure a return of Caribbean tourism.
Tourism Minister Cohen, in an address on the occasion, outlined activities that will be undertaken that will put in perspective strategies and designs for the industry in the new normal.
Several activities are planned for execution under the CTO's Caribbean Comeback campaign. Our stakeholders continue to feel the social, cultural, and economic impacts of this pandemic, and we empathize with every one of you. Many of you are still unable to operate at pre-COVID levels.
She says additional flights are arriving and they are anticipating the return of cruise lines on our shores. Nikita Holston, MTV News.
Good morning and welcome to this, your Rise and Shine program for today, Thursday, the 4th day of November. It's another beautiful day here in the land. We are grateful for life, grateful to be alive, grateful just for being here today so that we can share information with you on this program. I am your host, Oslin Crosby, and I am looking forward to today, another day when we share, another day when we all learn, and another day with an objective where we hope that we can take you away with a lot more information that you had before, one that can make a difference and one that can make you make more informed decisions in your life or in your business, things like that. Something where you know what's happening here, and that is the objective of this program. We get to wake you up and we get to keep you going throughout the day. So it is a pleasure. It's already what time? 7:35. It's already moving up to 8 o'clock. So to our 8 o'clock workers, we say you have just about 35 minutes to get there, but you should be getting there before. So we should not say 35. Let's not even 35, 25 minutes. So let's say you have about 20 to 15 minutes. Let's say 15 minutes to get there. You get to your office space, you can settle down and you can start off your day. You can start off your day right. So as we do every day, we help you plan by sharing the weather forecast with you. And this morning, it will be no different. We have an opportunity to share what's happening with the conditions that's expected today. We still have some contaminants in the air. It's still a bit blue outside. As we shared sometime last week, when we had that, it was very, very dense. You can almost not see. You stand from a distance and you look over the horizon, you look over the sea, and you cannot see what's going on there. It was very, very hazy. It has improved somewhat, as indicated by the forecasters at the Met Office. The intensity will change over a period of time. Some days might be worse than others, but we continue to encourage people with compromised respiratory systems to please take the necessary steps to ensure that you are safe. What you're advised to do, ensure that you have your medications on hand, make sure you have all that you need. You can have your doctor on call. If you're not sure about something, call your private physician and find out what's happening, what you should do if this starts to happen. Know what to do before. Preventative measures always critical in saving lives. We don't wait for you to start having an episode and then you want to be able to move. No, we cannot allow that to happen, because you may not be able to get out of it. It might just be your last. We know how very serious and critical these can be. So what we encourage you to do, know what's happening, ensure that you implement the preventative measures. Don't wait for it to start. If you don't need to be outside, stay indoors. We know still some people are still working remotely. Some children are still at home, and we want to encourage all. Do what needs to be done. On Monday, we had schools reopening in a phased approach. Private schools, most private schools have reopened. Public schools still phased from yesterday to tomorrow, Friday. Our students preparing for external exams, our fifth formers and also our grade sixes are in school. For those who are going out, and also those who were unfortunate and not have the opportunity to have access to remote learning, were in school on Monday and Tuesday, and Wednesday to Friday. Those preparing for external exams are inside. We know also that the TM Irish Community College also reopened on Monday. Long lines to get in, ensuring that everyone is sanitized before you enter the compound. We encourage you parents to ensure that the children are following or adhering to the protocols, because remember, we are not around them, and it is a time when the virus can move and move very, very quickly. So let us ensure that we speak to them, continue to admonish the principals, ensure that you share with them always the things that they should and shouldn't do. It's going to be quite a challenge, but we need to do what we have to do as parents to ensure that they are safe. Remember, they are within a community. Once we're in a community, be it in school or at home or in the community, it means that we can transmit the virus. Though our numbers are low, we had only 6 new cases yesterday, no deaths recorded in the past couple of days. We are grateful for this. But what's important is that we can maintain it. It is one thing to reach a goal. It's another thing to maintain that position over time. To maintain, we will need all hands on deck. It is important that we do what we need to do so that we can stay in this, what we may consider to be a relaxed position. We are not entirely out of the woods. But we encourage all to do what we need to do to ensure that we are all safe. So we are still waiting the weather report from the forecasters at the Met Office. What we will do is we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will be sharing more with you.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
for your financial freedom,
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
The Christmas holiday season is weeks away, and MTV, along with Magic FM, is providing advertising rates, programs, and special deals for businesses. Let us help you boost your products, services, and Christmas specials. Don't have an advert? Don't stress. We can create it for you. Contact MTV Marketing Department for details and book it on 440-8171, 405-5718, or mtvmarketinggd@gmail.com. Book early and bring cheer to families for Christmas. Terms and conditions apply.
Rise and shine.
Welcome back. So as indicated before we went on the break, it's time for us to get into the day's plan, and we start off by planning with the weather report. We now go over to the Met Office where we speak with Tricia Miller, forecaster for today, to share today's forecast. Good morning, Tricia.
To viewers morning here at the airport. Winds are from the east-northeast at 12 miles per hour. Barometric pressure 1012.9 millibars, which is below the mean, but it's rising. Present temperature 27.1 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 79%. Over the past 24 hours, no rainfall was recorded here at the MBIA. Hence, the total for the month remains at 1.4 millimeters. Now the public forecast valid for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. The weather is expected to be mostly fair with light to moderate isolated showers. Winds east-northeasterly to easterly at 12 to 22 miles per hour. Today's maximum temperature is expected to get up to 30.5 degrees Celsius. Seas moderate, waves 4 to 6 feet in open water. Tides are currently low and will be high around 2 p.m. Sunset this evening at 5:42. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:01. So just to recap, the weather is expected to be mostly fair with a few light to moderate isolated showers. From the Met Office, Tricia Miller.
Thank you so much, Ms. Miller. And that's the weather forecast for this morning. We do hope that you are mindful of this. Remember, we are in the final month of the official hurricane season. Don't let your guards down. Please don't let it mean that it is the last month so that we can just relax a bit. Let's continue to be prepared. Excuse me. It's important that we do this. Ensure that you're always prepared because we don't know what can happen and when. So let's be prepared. We are working within this very dynamic, multi-hazardous environment, meaning we're living within a pandemic, and it is the hurricane season. So it means that so many things can happen, and they can all happen at the same time. The importance of always being prepared it is even more critical now than before. So let's be mindful of this. Plan accordingly. If you're driving, maybe you should just always ensure that you have an umbrella or so in your vehicle. Ensure that you're always prepared. You may have a little umbrella in your bag. You're walking out, that you just hold it just in case, so that we're always covered. Don't ever wait just to hear it on the forecast. But what the weather forecast gives you an opportunity to do is to better plan for what may just happen. So we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we will take in our next guest.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
For your education.
for your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
The Christmas holiday season is weeks away, and MTV, along with Magic FM, is providing advertising rates, programs, and special deals for businesses. Let us help you boost your products, services, and Christmas specials. Don't have an advert? Don't stress. We can create it for you. Contact MTV Marketing Department for details and book it on 440-8171, 405-5718 or mtvmarketinggd@gmail.com. Book early and bring cheer to families for Christmas. Terms and conditions apply.
Come back. So as indicated before we went on the break, We now have our first guest on. It's Mr. Livingston Fraser. He's an active member of the Grenada Diabetes Association. And today we're talking living with this non-communicable disease. It is also a chronic non-communicable disease. Mr. Fraser, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Okay. Okay, good morning. And how you doing? Austin and guests looking on?
Today we're speaking where we're in the month of November. It's 4 days in, and it is also November is recognized as Diabetes Awareness Month. In this, we know that the association has been very active in trying to make people more aware of the disease, how to manage it, because we know that in some cases it's not as if anybody takes these chronic non-communicable disease. Most of them are genetically passed on. And it means that management comes with, once it involves our body, it's what we put in, is what we would get out. And it's important that we do this. So I want us to get into the association's plans for this awareness month. Let's start there.
Okay, well, firstly, as you know that we are in pandemic right now, and sometimes you have to adjust to the situation because usually we have a lot of ongoing activities, and this year because of the pandemic we decided to do most of our activities virtual, right? Using the media and so forth, right? The theme for this year's Diabetes Awareness Month is access to diabetes and care and awareness in the face of COVID-19, right? And we already started a few TV programs and so forth since Monday. We started with Beyond the Headlines, where we had Dr. Dwight Matthias and Dr. Joseph speaking about diabetes and COVID. Yesterday, we also had Doctor on Call, but actually Tuesday, Doctor on Call with Dr. Panchu and Mr. Claude Douglas talking about the psychosocial effects of COVID, people living with diabetes and so forth. Also, we had an episode on the next chapter in GIS talking about the Grenada Diabetes Association and its function and World Diabetes Awareness Month. We have a couple other activities, virtual media activities, which we're going to be continuing to do, which next week we're going to continue on Doctor on Call with food and nutrition, whereby we can educate the people on how they can manage their diabetes through nutrition and their food choices and so forth. Also, health-wise, MTV also will be coming there to talk on food care, right? We have collaborations with other organizations like the Lions Club. Actually, they are going to do a Zoom and they would have a presenter speaking about diabetes, right? So far, one of the form outdoor activities that we will have coming soon, the St. George's branch of the Grenada Diabetes Association will be holding a screening or a health fair at the GAF, at the Grenada Association of Retired Persons. That's that building close to Foodland, right? On the 17th of November, right? So the 17th of November, I think we should start probably by 10 o'clock in the morning, whereby you can come down, get your blood sugars checked, your blood pressure, your BMI. Also, there'll be counseling available. Cholesterol testing also should be available on that day. All right. World Diabetes Day, November 14th. Also, we would like to have a virtual fitness program whereby you can stay at home and we have a fitness instructor, and we'll be doing exercise from home, because very important in this time as persons living with diabetes to keep ourselves active, because you're inside, you're not moving, and you need to get that body moving to help you get with that control and so forth. And we have a lot going on this month. It's virtual. You may not see us on the streets, but we're doing a lot of programs. All right. Next week, November 15th, I'll be on the next chapter with Corvell Frederick, and I'll be talking about living life to the fullest with diabetes. Just a little personal note on myself. I'm a medical doctor, and I went to school, being a diabetic and everything. So I guess I'll be able to share my whole experience, living with diabetes and studying medicine. So it will be an interesting program, right? Other topics include women health, right? And diabetes, pre-diabetes, preventing diabetes, also preventing diabetes complication, right? And insulin therapy and so. One thing I'd like to ask the general public is that the Grenada Diabetes Association, we have a Facebook page, and we would like you guys to like that page and also share the page. Also from there, we will share our programs so that you can be updated, all right? It is very important that the people living with diabetes or the people affected by diabetes, however, are educated on topics that is pertaining to diabetes.
Dr. Fraser. So now I apologize. It's Dr. Livingston Fraser. Since we're on this, there are a number of activities planned for this month. Yes, we understand it's virtual because we're living within the pandemic. And I want us to delve into this before we get to your part of the story, living with diabetes, and today being a medical professional. Now you know the intricacies of the chronic illness, management, the importance. I want us to speak about some of the challenges we might have recognized with some of the people, not only those that the association know of, but also being a medical doctor, it meant that you would have encountered some people, the challenges during this pandemic, access to their insulin, their medication that they need to manage the virus, and also being able to adequately do so, especially in that of the lockdown. I remember last year when we were on complete lockdown, we heard some stories from people as relates to the management of this chronic illness. And we know that with the lockdown, a change in environment and everything else, it came with its own challenges for people within that group. I want us to speak to this morning.
Okay. Well, basically, as you say, in the lockdown, the most challenge should be, the access to the medication. I think what we had to consider the lockdown as, let's say, a natural disaster. In terms of before the lockdown, we as diabetics, we had to, let's say, trump up and get our medications and so beforehand. So I guess a lot of these things caught people off guard. So the time we had a lockdown, a week or two, and then after things opened back up again and you had long lines and a lot of struggle, a lot of people wasn't able to get their medication. Also, the outpatient clinics also were closed down. So some people wasn't able to go and get the prescription before they go to get the medication. You talk about lockdown, not just medication. You're talking about food also. Remember, with treatment of diabetes, nutrition is a very important factor. And not being able to go to the market to get your greens or so. But some people who were able to plant their own, they would not have been affected as others, depending on where they are. Also, sometimes I feel as though the association feel responsible somewhat we are a bit limited because some of the things that we during the pandemic we weren't as vibrant as we should have. But right now we're trying to get things back online, and actually we have a resource center down at the bottom of GBSS Hill at the St. John Ambulance Building. Actually, at this point, started this week, we're reopening from Monday to Friday from 8:30 to 4 p.m. And there, what the association right now is doing is we're making strips available for reduced prices. You have the Contour strips, all right, which we sell, which we give at $50 for 50 strips. And we have the One Touch, which is cheaper. We give at $20 for 50 strips, right? So people can go there and get the strips at reduced prices. Also, someone, if they like, they can go to the center and you can get your blood sugar checked right there, and also your pressure checked right there, right? And depending on the day, if there's a professional in, let's say a doctor in or so forth, you could get counseling, right?
Dr. Fraser, when we spoke about the association, the involvement, the challenges some people faced, and yes, you're right on those, because I've heard some of these stories. Those who have people taking care of them at least had someone to get them the medication or the food. The others who have no help, it was quite a challenge. And I guess we have all learned lessons from that pandemic and the lockdown period as an association and everything else. In addition to the resource center and being able to have the strips available to members or people affected, people living with diabetes, I think in order for you, as you said, the association is now trying to revamp its operations, be able to more assist people with the challenge. It means therefore that there you will need a lot more hands on deck. You will need a lot more personnel. Is there a call for people interested in wanting to give their time to the association during this month of awareness? I think that would play an important part in your response.
Okay, well, yes, I certainly do agree, because the Grenada Diabetes Association is a non-governmental organization, that, we don't do anything for profit. We only do anything just to help the people of Grenada. And yes, there's a call for help, and any help that you can get, it will be gladly appreciated. And, the association is, as time goes along, I think the association has to evolve, because in the beginning, I can't remember which year it was started, but in the earlies, one of the main objectives of this association is, to educate and raise awareness. So I believe sometime in the future, we should even move, our functionality even higher, even tackling things like policies and how, the government may increase its activities and how we can help the people living with diabetes and be advocates for the people living with diabetes. So we do need, collaboration with the private sector. We have support from the Ministry of Health also, but we need more collaboration, more hands on deck, so that we get other operations, going.
You there, because it will take personnel to push this along. Before we conclude, because we're kind of out of time, but I need to ask, living with diabetes, coming up as a child, as you said, you have lived, and now you're a doctor. Just share with us briefly your experiences going through having to manage. As children, we expect to be free, but I know with yours, you always had to be very cautious, and it meant that your parents would always be there ensuring, Livingston, did you do this? Did you eat that? You would not be able to eat as we all did, just going. And did that inspire you to become a doctor today?
Well, all right. So let me start by saying, well, I'm 29 years old, and well, next week, I'm taking 30. So I thank God for life one time, and I was diagnosed. I had about 10 years old. I was in primary school, like 5th grade, and yeah, it has been challenging up to this day. Living with diabetes is it's a challenge, right? And ranging from diet, exercise, nutrition, especially nutrition, getting to eat the right foods and stuff like it is a challenge because you go there and you see something and you want it, or sometimes let's say you go somewhere and you want to eat something but there isn't any healthy choices available, so I'll take the next best thing. It may not be the best thing, but that has been some of my challenges. I'm on insulin, and I think since from young I got the gist of, using my insulin and so forth. When I went to Cuba, they had a very good program in terms of diabetes education and so forth, which helped me along the way. One of the things that each person living with diabetes should take in consideration is knowing the numbers, meaning monitoring, right? This is one thing I try my best to do, if it's at least once a day, because having the strips is a challenge. So you may ask someone to check themselves 3 times a day or so, but it may not be conducive for the person because they do not have let's say, the financial backing or support or so forth to do that. So you try probably once a day or once every other day, just to make sure you know where your blood sugar's at. Also, another thing that helped me as a person living with diabetes is networking, meaning that you kind of converse yourself, or you link yourself with other persons living with diabetes, and that in a sense actually helps you to to keep going. Actually known persons living at least 50 years with diabetes with minimal complications, and these are the things you're kind of looking for. So some of these persons were like inspiration, and I use that. I have a family history, a very strong family history of diabetes in my family, so this is something I'm actually fighting with personally, and so forth. All right.
Did it inspire you to become a medical doctor?
Yes, because I like to help, other persons living with diabetes, and I believe as a professional and then as a person with living with diabetes, it would help motivate, my patients, they may not see me fully just as a professional telling them just what to do, but I could lead by example and be probably more effective.
I like that thinking. Dr. Fraser, it was a pleasure this morning speaking with you, sharing your experience and also the plans of the association. I think now we understand fully well what is happening with you. A strong advocate, one living with the chronic illness, but more so helping people in need while others may have it. And of course, we know that it is not your choice. Most cases, it is not by choice that people have this chronic non-communicable disease. But what's important after you have it is knowing that you can live a comfortably enough life managing this chronic illness and still being able to live a fruitful life. You are an example of this. We applaud your efforts. We say thank you for your service, and we want to encourage you to continue to help others, continue with that mindset, sharing your story, as the same way you were able to network and find inspiration from other people's stories, I'm sure many more will be able to find the same strength, inspiration, and also assistance from you being in the medical field that you have chosen.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So, Dr. Fraser, I'm going to go on record and say I'm happy, well, advanced birthday to you. You said next week you would be celebrating your 30th birthday. I know with all that has happened, it is quite a milestone, and we want to say advanced birthday to you. And we hope to see you. I think it's safe to say we're going to see you around for a long time, because you have done the work to ensure that you take yourself to 50 and more, as you indicated here, people living with diabetes. So, Dr. Fraser,
thank you.
You're most welcome, sir. Have yourself a good day, and we will be following up again with you on some of the other activities of the association in the future. Once you need our help, please don't be afraid to reach out.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. You're most welcome. We were speaking there with Dr. Livingston Fraser. He is an active member of the Grenada Diabetes Association. This month, November, it is Diabetes Awareness Month, and the association will be conducting a number of virtual engagements. It's important that we ensure that we do what we need to do. The people who are living with the chronic illness, remember, it is a non-communicable disease. People have lived full lives with them, but it must be managed. Nutrition, critical exercise, very, very important. Follow your doctor's orders. Ensure that you know what you have and how best to manage it. That's the best way to live with this. So that's it there from the Grenada Diabetes Association. Now we move on to, we have our second guest on. What we're going to do is take a quick short break, and then we come back in, as we will have back-to-back guests when we are back. We'll be speaking Football 1, and then we go over and speak to, we should be speaking to one of our local artists on how this pandemic has affected them and their lifestyle. So we'll be back shortly.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
For your education.
for your financial freedom.
For that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart.
Despite the situation we now face, one thing is for certain. We will get through this together. As much as we are a part of your community, you are a part of who we are. Let's take care of each other during this time, as we always do. And soon, we know that with the dawn of that new day, all of this will be over, and our land will once again be healed. In the meantime, stay safe. Know that we're here for you. Courts, bringing value home.
Rise and shine.
Welcome back to all our viewers and listeners. We say thank you so much for being here with us. It's now 10 minutes past 8 o'clock. If you're just joining us, we spoke a while ago with Dr. Livingston Fraser, speaking on Diabetes Awareness Month observed in November, the activities of the association. He also sharing his story, his experience living with the illness from since diagnosed since the age of 10, and he's now 29, now a medical doctor, and of course giving back to the people who live with the virus. Now we move to our second interview. We're now speaking with Mr. George Phillip. He is the Chief Fisheries Officer. Good morning, Mr. Phillip. And Mr. Phillip is one of my How do I call Mr. Philip? One of my neighbors in St. Mark. So it's a pleasure speaking with Mr. Philip this morning. Good morning. It's been quite a while.
Good morning, Ms. Crosby. Nice speaking to you this morning.
Yes, it is a pleasure. This morning we're talking boat inspection. As a Chief Fisheries Officer, it is one of our groups that we know that we have to always, safety is always paramount. As when they leave, they can leave and not return, as it relates to us ensuring that we're always in contact and they are safe. We need to do this. It's an annual exercise, and though the pandemic is on, we know that that's one of the things that we cannot put off, as the fishing season will soon start. Coming from a fishing village from St. Mark myself, having a parent that was a fisherman, I understand fully well the safety issue or the concerns when it relates to the fishing industry and the importance of this exercise. Speak to us about what's happening, or rather what started from November 1 for our fisher folks.
Well, on November the 1st and running through November the 30th, we have embarked on fishing vessel inspection in Grenada, where all fishing vessels are inspected, and upon successful completion of the inspection, they are given a license that will ensure for the ensuing 12 months they are well prepared to ply the Grenada waters to do their fishing. This involves having safety and navigational items. And I want to list some of the items that are required. They need to ensure that there is life jacket for each fisher on board. They need to ensure that there is a large pack of matches, fixed VHF marine radio, fixed mount compass, fire extinguisher, bailers, water bilge pump, life raft or dinghy, base mount or handheld global positioning system, which we refer to as GPS, walking navigational lights, port, starboard, stern, bow, fishing, etc. They should have a piece of mirror, spare tools for engine repairs, marine spotlights, spark plugs, spare batteries, should have a good first aid kit. And if they do not have one that have all the items, they can make one, ensuring that they have hydrogen peroxide, painkillers, gauze, etc. Obviously, there must be an anchor on board, radar reflector, 2 large marine batteries, spare impellers, fan belt, spare fuel filter, spare water, at least 2 gallons.
I think what we would also need to do is reload our platform. Okay, so I think now we are back on. Mr. Philip, sorry about that. We had a technical glitch there. The connection seemed to have gone off. So you were sharing with us some of the items that our fisher folks need to have. Oh, you're not hearing me. We had just are you hearing me better now? We seem to be having a technical problem. What we were just speaking there with Mr. George Philip, Chief Fisheries Officer, on the inspection period for our fisher folks. Are you hearing me now, Mr. Philip?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right, wonderful. Sorry about that. We just had a connection issue there where we were not, everything just freezed on us. So let us. You hear me low? Okay. We will continue to work at this. What I would encourage you to do, though, is that you can continue to share with us the list of items that our fisher folks need to have. We got to the part of the water, and then you got disconnected. The spare water on board. Yes.
That the fisher should have. At least 2 pounds brown sugar, 12 packets of Cricks, half-pound raisin, 4 to 6 packets of Flavor Aid, 4 tins of sardines, sausage, corned beef, mackerel, and 1 large bottle of water. And I was saying that those persons who are vegetarian, you can substitute the meat with some non-perishable veggie stuff that you have. So these items are mandatory that they should have on board.
It started on Monday. how will you be doing it? I know you would need to schedule days for different areas because there are some areas that have so many boats. The Gore, Victoria, Sobeys, Woburn, these areas. What's your schedule? Share your schedule with us.
Schedule run like this. Well, Monday we dealt with the Carnage, which is a vast area. Tuesday was Melville Street Jetty. Yesterday we went to Grand Mall Jetty. Today we'll be at Grand Anse Jetty. On Monday next week, we'll be at Guave Beach Jetty. On Tuesday, we'll be Victoria Slipway. On Wednesday, we'll be doing Marigot. We'll be doing Grand Roy. We'll be doing Palmis. And on Thursday, we'll be doing Waltham. What I can do is I can share the schedule with you so that you can continue as the days roll out to inform John Public on it.
That I would appreciate. So at least our fisher folks, our fishers know when you will be in the area. But what I think we would encourage them now to do is ensure that they are in compliance with all the needs, the items that they must have, the requisite items to ensure that when inspection happens, that it can be seamless and that in no way it's going to disrupt their operations.
Definitely, and we'll be appreciative of this.
How have they been complying though? How have the cooperation from the fishers end been during the time?
About 90% compliance.
Okay.
Some of the fishermen may miss one or two items, and we will ensure that we will issuing them that license until they go to procure it, and they bring it and show it to us. Then we do such, and we had a few cases like that in Grand Mall Jetty yesterday.
When they are not in compliance, how long will a boat be down for, and how do we monitor that the breaches as it relates to safety once you have not met that prerequisite, the list of things that you should have reached? How do we monitor to ensure that that boat don't leave the shore and go out there and put themselves and others at risk?
The truth is, we are a little bit deficient in that area in terms of the monitoring aspect to ensure that they don't go out if they didn't adhere to compliance. And I say it's a work in progress, and we strongly encourage that they come forward and inspect the boat so they can be issued license. If they choose not to license the boat at a particular time on the review, they can probably make an appointment afterwards, and we can address that need.
Okay, I think that sounds like a plan, because if we're going to inspect and issue license, then monitoring is critical as to how we move forward with that. And we know how heart-wrenching it can be when our loved ones leave the shore on a fishing expedition and then we hear that they're missing and we cannot find them. We have people that were never found. We know of stories from our own areas where people go out and we're still looking for some of them. We know that at this point, because it's been years, we say, okay, so we may find some peace in the fact that hopefully they are at peace, they have left us, but it is never a nice thing when we have to send out the Coast Guard to look for, or we don't know where they are at.
Definitely, it is not a nice feeling when those things happen. So that's why we stress the importance of ensuring that you have all those navigational items and not just having them, but in good working condition. Additionally, these days, I mean, almost everybody have access to a cell phone, and it has served us well. You know, some people, instead of using the radio, would use the cell phone and would have given testimony of how important that would have been to them in terms of their safety.
So, Mr. Philip, as we conclude, just share again with us the areas for this week and the information for next week. I would share with the general public as we move into that, as we continue that inspection phase for our fishers this in the month of November.
I thank you very much, and I look forward to future engagement. And thank you for the courtesies extended this morning and thereafter.
Our fishers, the Carenage gone. The Grand Dance, I think you're going to be in on the Grand Dance jetty this week. Just remind us of that. The schedule today, it's Thursday, and I know then you will resume next week, Monday, for those that 4 days when you do that. So just remind us again of those days so that our fishers in those areas can be prepared for when you get to their areas.
Okay, at Grand Dance, we'll be there at 10:30 to 1 p.m. On Monday, the Guav Beach Jetty, 9:30 to 3 p.m. On Tuesday next week, Victoria Slipway, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Wednesday, Marigot Bay, 10:30 a.m. to 11:30. Grand Roy Bay, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And Palmis, 2:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m.
Thank you so much, Mr. Philip. It was a pleasure speaking with you. We will be doing an update on this. Maybe at the end of the inspection period, we can do a recap as to cooperation, people going out to fish, encouraging our fishers to be safe. As we know, the fishing season, it's about to open.
Thank you, Ms. Carl. It was a pleasure.
It was. There we were speaking with Mr. George Philip, Chief Fisheries Officer, speaking to us about the inspection period. It's now on for all our fishers. Our fisher folks, we encourage you. We encourage them to please be prepared. Mr. Philip shared a very long list of safety items that you should not just have, but have in working condition. And remember, excuse me, it's all meant to ensure our people that you are safe, our fishers are safe when you go out. When you go out to fish, when you go out for your daily catch on your fishing expeditions, that if you may encounter challenges, that you have means to communicate with us if you end up in some sort of trouble, because it is no fun to hear that we have to be looking for fisher folks. My father was a fisherman, and I have experienced this as a child. It is very, very hard to deal with, and I don't wish it on anyone. So let us do what we need to do to ensure that safety first, last, safety in the middle. Right around us, we're always prepared for that. Okay, so we're now on to our final interview for the morning. It was a packed morning, so much information. We're now speaking with the head coach of the Under-20 and national team, Mr. Michael Findlay. We spoke to him last week or the week before, when we were preparing for this competition. The Dominican Republic, our Under-20 boys are out there. They left the island since last week, Friday. They have played 2 matches. Mr. Findlay, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure speaking with you again.
Good morning, everyone. How are we? To everyone on the island.
Yes, good morning. You are out there. The last time we spoke, they were in camp here on island, but now you're out there in the Dominican Republic. I know it's game day tomorrow for our team, for our Under-20s first official competition game. But before we get into game day, let's speak of the warm-up matches, because I know you have done your assessment from what you saw in those 2 games that they played. They played one yesterday, I believe, was it on Monday?
Yeah, the day before. Sometimes in these tournaments you lose track of time.
Yes, we do.
So we played on Tuesday.
Okay, so you played on Tuesday and you played one, I believe, yesterday. 2 warm-up matches. What you saw so far, are you confident that we are going at our best?
Yeah, I mean, given the circumstances that we entered into due to all the challenges that we discussed the last time I was with you, I think we've made progress. These types of events are never easy based on the travel contingency, the planning, and trying to get acclimatized for whatever venue you end up coming to. But I think we've made some great decisions in coming in a little bit early, so the boys can get acclimatized, get comfortable, get a better idea about what the environment's like here in the Dominican Republic. As I said, we've been able to get on field to work on some of the things that we've been discussing, the game model and all of the supporting attributes that we're trying to instill in these young men moving forward. And yeah, getting 2 games in was really very beneficial for us, purely because we wanted to get some match minutes under their legs. They have not played in a very long time in an organized football match due to the conditions that we experiencing in Grenada due to the pandemic. and also the fact that they hadn't played together as a group. And so we needed these opportunities for them to mesh and really just get some physical conditioning in match-like environments.
It's match day tomorrow. First game against St. Martin. Expectations, as we say, we always go into the expectations to win. But you sitting there with them, seeing them playing, expectations tomorrow for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, I think they're in a very good spot emotionally. I think they're very excited. It's always nice to be able to be selected for your national team and be able to take part in an actual official CONCACAF tournament. And this gives them an opportunity to display their capabilities and their potential. And I think they're really excited about getting to the field. We've seen some very strong performances in those 2 warm-up games. And I think they're well prepared. As I said, given the situation, we always want more time and would have had more time and if we didn't have the challenges in front of us. But in terms of what the realities are, we worked on that off field and told them, this is just something you need to deal with. And football provides you with numerous challenges on and off the field. But the great thing about it is it presents you with the opportunity to address those. So that's what's going to happen tomorrow. And I think our staff's expectation is they come with the energy and the passion and deliver hopefully on the work we've done tactically and technically with them and come away with 3 points, which we need to do.
3 points tomorrow at tomorrow's game, and then we have 3 games after that to move on to the next round, I believe.
Yeah, so we'll play. The rotation of matches is we play every second day. It's a very sort of challenging schedule, given that we need to get this first round of qualifying in with the group winner moving on to the second round of qualifying, which takes place in June 2022. So we'll play we'll play tomorrow, then we'll have a day off and we'll play again. And then we'll have another day off and we'll play again. And then we have an extra day off before our final match. So, the mindset here is we just take one game at a time. It sounds cliche, but at the end of the day, it's true. So we'll look towards tomorrow's match first, and then we'll sit down and review and prepare for our second match, depending on what the outcome is and what we saw and what we need to improve on and what we need to focus on.
I agree. I will not ask as relates to expectations for the others. I think tomorrow is going to be the trampoline as to how you move forward in your assessment after seeing what happens tomorrow. We continue to wish you and the team, the guys, the very best. We want them to know that they have the whole of Grenada supporting them. We are looking for their best. And we know that you will guide them as best you can into tomorrow's game and the rest of the games in this tournament. So, Mr. Finlay, we say thank you again to you. Before you leave, though, any parting words?
Much for the support. I know the staff here has been working very diligently on their responsibilities on preparing this team accordingly. That's the focus. They've done an extremely good job in doing that in these difficult circumstances and times. And I think we all appreciate the support that we get from the Grenadian people. And we look forward to flying the flag proudly. So thanks very much for having me on.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Finlay, and also for your patience. I know you were waiting for us for quite a bit this morning. We apologize for that.
No problem at all. Always nice to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Okay, so we will be speaking in the future. That my last conversation with a rep from the GFA is that local competitions will soon resume. We have an opportunity to get back into more games, and then I know we're also preparing for some of the bigger competitions when you're back from the U20. So there will be so much more for us to speak of in future.
Good. Have a great day.
Thank you, and same to you, and best of luck to the team, to you and the team out there in the Dominican Republic. You're most welcome. We were speaking there with Mr. Michael Finlay, head coach of our national team and also the under-20, the U20 team out there in the Dominican Republic, participating in that under-20 CONCACAF championship. We wish them their best, the best. The first game tomorrow against St. Martin, They played 2 warm-up games. One they drew, the other they won 3-0. According to the coach, prospects are looking very, very well. We know that we can only have prospects when it comes to sports and games. Competition, it is until the final whistle blow we can say, okay, they have won or they did not. But we continue to wish them the best. Looking at how we are going in, our team, though our challenges, it did not stop us from entering the competition, and it certainly will not stop them from giving their best. So let us continue to support our sporting ambassadors out there in the Dominican Republic. They are the young ones, and remember, they are the future. The under-20s today will tomorrow be the senior men's team, representing this our beautiful land tomorrow. So let's do what we need to do. To the parents of our children that are there, I'm sure you're proud, very, very proud. Support the game. I'm sure the GFA may have the game. I'm not sure if the stream also will be on their Facebook page or other platforms. That we can check tomorrow. But I'm sure the results we will be hearing of from the game that will be played tomorrow by the team. So we here at MTV wish the team the very best in tomorrow's game. So before we wrap up, it's just about wrapping up time for us. Just to share the results from the National Lotteries Authority's draws conducted on Wednesday, the 3rd of November, 2021. The winning number for the Playway midday draw was 2, the symbol fish. Winning number for the Playway evening draw, 18, symbol love making. The winning numbers for Daily Pick 3 midday draw, 4, 5, and 9. The winning numbers for the Daily Pick 3 evening draw, 3, 8, and 6. The winning numbers for the Daily Cash 4 midday draw, 8, 2, 5, and 3. The winning numbers for the Daily Cash 4 evening draw, 8, 6, 6, and 5. The lotto results for Wednesday, 3rd November 2021 are as follows. 2, 18, 24, 26, and 34. The numbers again, 2, 18, 24, 26, and 34. The free ticket letter was M as in money. There were 53 match 3 winners paying $15 and 2 match 4 winners paying $383. The current estimated lotto jackpot is now $90,000. And that's the results from draws conducted on Wednesday, 3rd November by the National Lotteries Authority. So to all our winners, we say congratulations. And we know that if you did not win, it does not mean that you would not be playing again. Remember, you have to be in it to win it. So that's it for the lotto draw from today. And it is also time for us to say goodbye to you for this week. It is Thursday. We'll be back here with you, all things remaining the same, God's will, on Tuesday here on MTV and Magic FM for another episode, another program of Rise and Shine here, where we share information with you, try to give you the right start to your day as we intend to make every day productive and also make a difference in somebody's life today. Let's try to do something nice for someone. Be kind one way or the other. Let's do something to make a difference in this life. So this is where I say goodbye. I'm your host, Oslin Crosby. On behalf of the team, Chad, Tanya, Kishan, we say thank you so much again for another successful program. We will be back here again on Tuesday, God's will. But I encourage all to be safe. Remember, we are not entirely out of the woods. We still live within the pandemic. Let us follow the protocols, do what we need to do, get vaccinated. Remember, that one is a personal choice, but it is one of the best ways to manage the virus. Let us give ourselves a fighting chance and do what we need to do today to make a difference. So until next week, God's will, be safe, everyone.
Shine.